This summer, we're not seeing the typical travel boom you'd expect. It's already late July and the tourism market is still in a slump. Prices haven't gone up and the hotel bookings have fallen short of expectations. Mid-range and budget hotels in particular are getting hit hard. Many are shutting down or being sold off. Aside from a handful of major tourist hotspots that still draw crowds, most shopping districts and local businesses are really struggling to stay afloat. Today, I talked to 5 friends who work in the travel agency business. They all told me the same thing. Places like Chengdu, Zhangjiajie, and western Sichuan are seeing a clear drop in tourist activity. Even the foot traffic at Chengdu East Station is down. Recent heat waves and heavy rain have only made things worse, but honestly, there are 3 deeper reasons behind all of this. Every year from July 20th to August 20th, this place is usually packed to the brim. Practically impossible to move around, with long lines everywhere. But just take a look at what it's like this summer at the north gate of the Dufu thatched cottage. In the past, July and August were always peak tourism months in China. High-speed trains, scenic spots, hotels, everything would be packed. But this year is different. Sure, a few top tourist sites are still crowded, but overall, hotel occupancy is low, travel agencies are struggling to stay in business, and there are empty seats on the trains. Small and mid-size attractions and hotels are taking the biggest hit, with many businesses either shutting down or trying to sell off what they can. Industry insiders say it doesn't matter if it's Shanghai, Gansu, or Xinjiang, no matter how many group tours or events they try to organize, the tourist numbers just aren't what they used to be. Meanwhile, in Dali, a 2-day tour costs as little as $35, and the streets are eerily empty. These kinds of scenes are popping up all over the internet. This summer, the number of visitors in Huangshan has clearly dropped compared to last year. That's something both tourists and local tourism workers are feeling. There aren't those long lines on the mountain anymore, and business down below at the base isn't nearly as busy either. Even places like the shuttle hub, which usually see huge morning crowds, are much quieter now. The blogger said the footage was taken on a Saturday, but the crowd was pretty average. Even the ticket checkpoint wasn't busy, nothing like the long lines you'd normally see during peak season. Online, there's a lot of debate about why. Some say Huangshan's free entry policy isn't as generous as last year, so it's not drawing as many people. Others think Western China is stealing the spotlight this summer. And of course, there are those who blame the weather. No one wants to get caught in a thunderstorm on their hike. But the blogger believes that the real issue is the bigger picture, the economy. With so much downward pressure right now, people are just more cautious about spending and traveling. And the same pattern is showing up in places like Zhangjiajie too. Tourist numbers in Zhangjiajie are also down this year. From my perspective, there were 3 big reasons. First, the economy's in rough shape, and people just don't have the same spending power. Second, all the extreme weather and natural disasters in different regions are making people hesitant. And third, maybe most important, the visitor experience just isn't good, and the folks are walking away disappointed. What's even more surprising? People are visiting once popular tourist spots only to find them deserted. One traveler sighed, "This is my 4th trip to Chaka Salt Lake, and I've never seen so few people there before." Just look at this massive plaza and parking lot, totally empty. People online have been pointing out how wide open it is here. The service center building is quiet, even the buffet area feels abandoned. And the parking lot in the distance, still full of empty spots. It's hard to believe this place was once packed. Some in the industry say sure, on the surface the weak summer travel season looks like it's just about bad weather. But the truth is, the entire structure of the tourism industry is shifting. Sure, extreme weather has played a role. Since mid-June, many top travel spots across China have been hit with scorching 104-degree Fahrenheit heat and torrential rain. In Sichuan, for instance, July saw both heat waves and floods. People are scared of heat stroke or landslides, so they're staying home instead. But let's be real, the weather's just the trigger. The bigger issue is that people are spending less and changing how they travel. Take Dunhuang, for example. Plenty of tourists, but hotel prices have tanked. Rooms that used to go for much more are now $39 a night and still sitting empty. Near Chengdu East Station, guest house owners say they're struggling to rent out rooms for even $14. In western Sichuan, hotels that used to pull in over $10,000 a day have seen their guest numbers cut in half. Revenue's taken a major hit. But here's the thing, those tourists didn't just vanish. They're doing things differently now, sleeping in their cars, pitching tents, cooking their own meals. They've broken free from travel agencies and hotel bookings entirely. In the past, places like Chaka Salt Lake and Dunhuang were fully booked, rooms were hard to get, and prices went up daily. But this year, hotels still have plenty of vacancies. People online are saying it's because these routes are already so developed with great transportation access. On top of that, you can find insanely detailed travel guides all over the internet now. So, more and more tourists just drive themselves in for a day trip and head home. They don't even need to book a local hotel. That cuts down occupancy rates and makes it even harder for travel agencies to pull together full tour groups. It's becoming a tough business to be in. Experts are also pointing out that road trips are the new trend. More and more people are choosing to plan their own routes. There's a viral post on Red Notes where someone drove 7,000 kilometers, about 4,350 miles, over 14 days and only spent $486 per person. That kind of freedom at that kind of price, it's hard to beat. Hotel franchise owners in the Sichuan Chongqing region say the crowds just aren't coming like they used to. The long lines that were once the norm have disappeared. Compared to the same time last year, hotel occupancy has dropped sharply. If a place hits 60% now, that's considered a big win. One hotel executive I visited recently had a grim prediction. By September, over half of all hotels might go out of business. That's not me saying it, that's a senior insider in the industry. He told me July and August are doing way worse than previous years. So why are people still holding on? Because July and August are usually the golden season, they're hoping to power through. But once the weather cools and the tourist numbers drop again, a lot of hotels just won't survive. And let's be honest, this whole idea of revenge travel is over. From 2023 to 2024, people were still riding that post-pandemic wave, eager to make up for lost time. But now, in 2025, the financial pressure is real. Household debt has shot up to 66.4%. That's a 48% jump from 10 years ago. People are cutting back. Travel is no longer a must, it's a luxury. One user shared that they used to have a bunch of friends who would jump at the chance to travel the second a holiday rolled around. It was a huge part of their identity. See the world, spend the paycheck, snap photos, post them online, soak up the likes. But have you noticed? Lately, those same people aren't going anywhere. It's like they just stopped. The more you travel, the more restless you feel inside. It gets harder to feel satisfied. Life's just getting more exhausting. Every time there's a holiday, you want to get away, but while your phone fills up with pictures, your wallet gets emptier. One guy said he finally did the math. The money he's spent traveling over the past few years could have bought a small apartment in his fourth-tier city. He said, "Others saved up homes and cash. I saved up poetry and dreams." And then he paused and said poetry and dreams don't pay the bills, they just fed his ego. Ever felt that way? Like if you don't have a strong cultural core, then no matter how far you walk, you're just another messenger passing through? Some netizens have pointed out that tourism in China isn't really designed to help people relax, unwind, or explore. It's more like a standardized assembly line. You spend time and money and all you get is a boxed-up sightseeing task. The real point isn't the experience, it's just getting that one photo to post on social media to prove you did something during your time off. This kind of tourism doesn't help people de-stress. If anything, it just turns the holiday into another money trap. You pay for tickets, shuttle buses, overpriced food, every step is designed to squeeze a little more out of you. Your so-called vacation doesn't feel free at all. It becomes a group march of restricted movement and forced spending. It's not an escape from daily life, it's just another form of it. And as if that weren't enough, problems in China's scenic spots just keep piling up. Recently, 4 tourist sites in Gansu province sparked outrage over outrageous sky-high toll fees, setting off a firestorm of online backlash. Many tourists have complained that at Mati Temple in Gansu, visitors are being forced to pay steep tolls just to pass through. At Jinta Temple, if you don't reserve in advance, self-driving tourists had to cough up 300 yuan per person, about $41, just in toll fees. And that's not even counting the admission ticket. If you refused to pay, your car got stopped. Staff would actually steer you toward buying a transit pass. This wasn't even a scenic route. They were charging tolls on public country roads, turning them into private tourist driveways. For a car with 4 people, that's nearly 1,200 yuan, about $165, just a pass. Authorities were quick to respond, but netizens say the whole situation is just too serious to brush off. The local Culture and Tourism Bureau did issue a statement, but their tone felt insincere. Sure, they apologized quickly, but the statement only admitted that the scenic road and the public road are the same thing, then casually said sorry. But come on, who gave them the authority to set up barricades on a public road? Does an apology fix that? Isn't this illegal? In the video, you can clearly see enforcement officers placing signs and roadblocks, funneling all cars into a paid checkpoint. Online users roasted the officials. That sign saying non-sightseeing traffic may pass freely, just for show. On site, it was a totally different story. Forced tolls were the norm. Officials brushed it off, saying tourists misunderstood the process. But that's just arrogant spin, implying visitors didn't get it, when in fact the staff were clearly blocking the wrong road and charging illegal fees. Some workers even admitted it wasn't legal or reasonable. That was the only honest thing said. This talk about deep tourism product charges? Please. Tourists aren't upset about your so-called premium experience. They're angry because you're charging outrageous tolls on public roads. The official response was nothing but a shady attempt to cover it all up and fool the public.